From the law offices of Denny Crane, and give yourself a bonus point if you know who that is. This is Kurt Berglund with part 3 of a 4-part series on the APBA Hall of Fame baseball set. Today, going through defensive metrics and APBA ratings. And we're going to play a fun game called Who Am I that is sweeping the nation. And you get to play it first. That's right. You get to play it first. So, let's get to what I've learned, what I don't know, which is voluminous, and what we can safely say about the APBA Hall of Fame set, and play our game called Who Am I? Before we begin with the game that is sweeping the nation, and you get to play it first, I'm going to talk about the categories of comparison that we're going to use to arrive at some understanding about the APBA defensive ratings in the Hall of Fame set. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell you what the position is that the player plays. We're going to tell you how their fielding percentage compares in the 5-year span that APBA is giving us for that player. We're going to tell you how their fielding percentage ranges up or down compared to the league average. We're going to give you a range factor range for the 5 years. How does this player's range compare to the league average for the 5 years that they are carded in the set? I'm going to tell you how many gold gloves that player has earned in that 5-year span. And I'm going to tell you their defensive rating. Now, I'm not going to draw conclusions for you about whether the ratings are good or bad or indifferent. I'm going to let you do that yourself. I am giving the information. Now, APBA defensive ratings, I've read Zach's handbook, and I don't know a lot more, frankly, after reading that about how they come to their defensive ratings than I did before, but God bless Zach for writing it. So, if you can figure it out, then you know something that maybe the rest of us don't. All right, so here we go with the information for our first player, and we're going to play the game called Who Am I? Player number 1. Player number 1 is a second baseman. His fielding average in the 5 years that we're talking about for the card ranged from 6/thousandths of a percent better than league average on the low end in the 5 years to on the high end of the 5 years, 19/100ths to the good, better. So his fielding percentage was better than league average by 6/1000ths of a point in his worst year, and it was better by 19/100ths of a point in his best year defensively. His range factor per 9 innings was .37 better than league average, so 0.37 of a chance better than league average in his worst year to over half of a chance better than league average in his best year. So this is a player a little bit better than league average for fielding percentage at second base, and better than average than league average in terms of range. We can say that pretty confidently throughout the 5-year span. Gold gloves were not awarded during that player's career, and his defensive number, his defensive rating in the Hall of Fame set for the 5 years that he is carded is a 7. So this is the data. A second base 7, a little bit better in fielding percentage than league average, solidly better than range than league average, no gold glove, and he got a 7. Who is he? Well, I'm going to tell you in a few minutes. You're going to have to wait. Here's player number 2. He is a first baseman. He was, in his worst year in the 5, for fielding percentage, was 0.02% better than league average. In his best year, he was 0.07% better than league average in this 5-year span. So he's pretty much right on league average for fielding percentage. Little bit better, but pretty much league average. For range in the 5 years, his worst year, he was 0.19 worse than league average for fielding chances. In his best year in the 5, he was 0.66 of a chance better than league average. He earned 4 gold gloves, and he got a rating of 5 from APBA for the Hall of Fame set. Who's he? Well, you're going to have to wait a minute and think about that one. Player 3 is a shortstop. He ranges in the 5-year span from being dead on league average in his worst year for fielding percentage to being 0.02% better than league average for fielding percentage. So he's in the league average ballpark, a little bit better. For range, he goes from a 0.088 of a point of a chance less than league average, so a little bit less than league average, to 0.44 better than league average. But most of his 3 of his 5 years in this range were almost right on league average for range. So we have a little bit better than league average for fielding percentage, and overall a little bit better than league average for range. He earned 5 gold gloves during this 5-year span. Every single year he got a gold glove, and he got a rating of a 10 at shortstop for his efforts. Who is he? You're going to have to wait. Next up, another shortstop. For fielding percentage, under league average in his worst year of the 5 at 0.012, less than league average for fielding percentage, which is something. And in his best year, 0.014, better than league average for fielding percentage at shortstop. For range, 0.73 less than league average, almost 3/4 of a chance worse than league average in his worst year of the 5, to 1/10 of a chance in his best year. He earned no gold gloves during his 5-year span that he is carded for, and he got a rating of an 8 from APBA in this set. Who is he? You're going to have to wait. Next player. For fielding percentage, he ranges from 0.017 better than league average. So he's better in errors, to 0.018 better than league average in this 5-year block of time. For range factor, he is a third of a chance. In his worst year, he was a third of a chance worse than league average. This should also be 0.23 worse than league average. So he's 0.3 of a chance worse than league average to 0.2 of a chance worse than league average. So he is, that's not nothing. That's definitely something worse than league average for the range that he has at third base. No Gold Gloves. He got a rating of a 4 at third base from APBA for the set. Who is he? You're going to have to wait. Next player up is an outfielder. His fielding percentage ranges from .013 under league average to .012 over league average, so he's right around league average for the 5 years in which he is carded in this Hall of Fame set. For range, he is 0.3, .34 less than league average of a chance, less than league average, to .09 less than league average. So he's going from basically in his worst year, 0.3 of a chance worse than league average to 0.1 of a chance worse than league average. He earned in this 5-year span no Gold Gloves, and he got a 3 for his outfield defense. These are the 6 players that I have chosen to highlight, and now I'm going to tell you who they are. Who are these 6 people reflected by this data, these Gold Gloves, and these defensive ratings? Again, I am not editorializing. I don't work for APBA. I am not earning money from APBA for my observations. However, let's tell you who everybody is. The first player is a second baseman from the pre-Gold Glove era. His name is Nap Lajoie, or LaJoy, if you prefer. These are his numbers. This is his rating. The first baseman with 4 Gold Gloves and got a 5 from APBA for his defense with these stats is Mr. Clean himself, Popeye, if you will, Steve Garvey. The third player with these stats and 5 Gold Gloves and a 10 defensive rating from APBA is a much discussed Hall of Fame candidate, Omar Vizquel. The fourth player with no Gold Gloves and an APBA rating of an 8 in the Hall of Fame set and these defensive metrics is a Hall of Famer. His name, Derek Jeter. The fifth player with these metrics, no Gold Gloves and a rating of a 4 at third base, is also rated at several other positions. His name, Pete Rose. And the last player with these defensive metrics, no Gold Gloves in the 5-year time span of this Hall of Fame set, and got a outfield defensive rating of 3, is Barry Bonds. And that completes Who Am I? The game that is paralyzing a nation. All right, so what's coming up tomorrow? I'm going to talk about different ways that you might organize the set into tournaments, leagues, just fun stuff to talk about. Might do a couple more card previews, and I'll respond to your comments that you put, questions, comments that you put below this presentation on YouTube. Be interested to hear your thoughts, especially as they relate to the ratings for each of the players that I've mentioned. Hope you've enjoyed this. I know I have. It's been fun to do. And we're looking forward to creating and posting part 4 tomorrow, the last part of the series. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Kurt Berglund. We have to stick together, everybody. Hope you have a good day. My name is out of here. So long, everybody.